Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me today. Making sure my volume is working, should be good. So today we're going to have a look ahead at Laravel 10. It's going to be a fantastic release. I think a lot of people are excited about it. So let's have a look into what's coming ahead. There is a link in the description below, which goes to Laravel News, which will take you to the article back from December, which our good friend Paul Redmond wrote for us. And it's walking through a few parts of what's coming out. So, perfect image quality. Yes, it was worth upgrading my account just for that. So yeah, let's dive in. Obviously, there's a release notes, which is going to be pretty interesting, which we'll kind of tap into, and we'll also go through this article from Laravel News as well. But we're going to do this the Steve way. So let's get started with creating a demo. So we're going to use a Laravel installer. We're going to create a new L10, and we're just going to add the dev flag. So with the Laravel installer, if you add the dev flag, it will get the the latest from the main branch. So let's go and have a look. Dev master, fantastic. Downloading. That is all good. So we're going to create a new project. And let's go to L10. Great. Don't know about anyone else, but my PHP Storm has been a little bit slow recently. Bit frustrating, but that is life, I suppose. Let's have a quick look in the composer. Default minimum of 8.1, which is fine. Laravel framework, Sanctum, Guzzle is still on 7.2, Faker, Pint. All of these could do with a quick update. There's nothing standing out yet. That could have changed, other than the branch alias. Yeah, so far so good. This is Laravel 10. So what we are going to do is I'm just going to artisan serve this because I'm not going to be doing too much crazy stuff. So here we go. Here's Laravel 10, the new default page that you get. And let's switch to dark mode. Perfect. And on light mode. Awesome. So that, I believe that is part of a new Laravel 10, that the new homepage is kind of dark mode compatible. I saw something on Twitter the other day. So the first thing I want to look at is the process layer, which could be pretty interesting. So let's have a look at this. Let's go to our first route and let's just die and dump within here. We're going to use process component, and we can use a command, timeout mixin, did lots of assertions. And currently is recording, options, path, pool, some cool stuff. Let's try a command, and we're just going to do a simple command of who am I? So come back to here and refresh. We're getting a pending process, and we can get, okay, so we got to get the result back from that. So let's do it this way. So the process is this, and we want to get the process. Probably want to get the output, really, don't we? Oh, okay, now we've got to run it. I do apologize. Output. Aha, we have got a Steve New line coming through, which is cool. That's pretty cool. You can do all sorts. So that's an A. I'm on Darwin, cool. P, ARM processor. Yeah, so that's the process. We can do all sorts with it. Get the exit code, which should be a 0. Really interesting stuff. Was it successful? Yep, excellent. So yeah, the process itself is a new facade, which will work with the pending process itself. So what we can do with that is basically build up a Symfony process and handle it quite nicely. What I've done in the past and what I wrote about in Laravel News was Laravel News process CLI, just maybe, I don't know, I can't remember what I called it. There we go, working with OS processors. So what I've done in the past is directly work with a Symfony process component. And what it all allowed me to do is to do something like this. I'd definitely be interested in seeing how I approach this using the process facade, because it might be a little bit more interesting. There is some example code in a repo. With, again, more examples. But the commands for the new process layer could be quite interesting in comparison. So I definitely think we can have a look at that and see what we can do in more detail further down the line. Drop support for 8.0, which is cool. Native type declarations. Awesome. Return types, method arguments. Okay, so let's have a look at a few of these. Let's drop that. Got this. Be a little bit Steve about it. And let's grab this and let's just do a static function. There we go. I just realized again that it is quiet. So let's play some music in the background, shall we? Let me know if it's a little bit too loud for you all, and I can turn it down. So first thing I'd probably say we want to do here to have a look at this is go have a look at some of the defaults. So things like the app service provider returns void, controllers, nothing in there, nullable string. I would have expected that to be an array. I don't know if they meant type hints as well. Return types, arguments, and does not include typed properties. Okay. So that is where I kind of would have hoped they would have done that, if I'm honest, if they're going to fully embrace types, because that would make more sense. They're doing types everywhere else, but I do understand it is a lot to cover. One way that we can actually look at it though is to is it stub publish? Yeah. Let's have a look at the stubs. We've got loads of types coming through. One of the usual offenders that I've seen is in the mail. Yes, we're getting an envelope, content, attachment, mail notification. Notifiable is passing it as an object, which is, I suppose that's fine. Yeah, that's all good. Controllers, returning a response by default. That's pretty good. Singleton response. Singleton API responses. Obviously my favorite, invocable. Good evening all. Ah, we've got a couple of Italians with us today, have we? That's great. Ah, let me turn that music down for you. How is that? Is that a little bit better for you? The event, the factory, returning array, huge job, returning void, standard mail. Ooh, what happened there? Let's have a look. Envelope, content. Awesome. Using generic types, that's cool. Migrations. Now return a void, perfect. Pivot models and a model. Observer, return a void. Policy. Returning bool. Cool. These actually used to return union type by default of bool or authenticated response. Access response, that one there. Doesn't look like they're typing that anymore, which is, yeah, pretty fine, if you ask me. Hey, Nuno. Positive vibes from Laracon. Yes, definitely. Laracon was fantastic. I wish I could go back right now. It was just so much fun. Rules. Yeah, we got types again. Closure. Potentially translated string. Wow, that's a cool new type. Love it. Cedar. Yeah. Unit test. Returning void. View component. Turning view closure with string. That's awesome. Yeah, so all of the new types are in there. That is, yeah, obviously pretty good news to me. I wonder if Laristan will say anything there. Let's check. Composer, acquire, dev, Duro, Laristan, go. Is it going to work? What we're going to need here is a PHP stan.neon. I've always got to check the docs for this. I kind of wish that Laristan would publish this by default if it doesn't already exist. Laristan, GitHub, Nuno. Here we go. Let's go grab what we need. The real test. Stick that on level 9. And let's vendor bin PHP stan. Analyze. Level 9, and we're all good. Awesome. That is cool. So yeah, types are looking good. It's all nice and clean. It works out of the box. Invocable validation rules are the default. So let's create a couple of validation rules to test. So make a rule, and we'll just call this uppercase, And then we're going to create the old one as well. Let's go over the rules a second. I completely spelt it wrong, but it's okay. So here's the old way of doing it, where we just have a validate method, where it has a string, a value, and whether it's going to fail or not. Validation rule. Do you have to do anything? Implicit. Oh, wait. My bad. My bad. Delete that. Here's the old one. So implicit is set to true, and a validate method. There's not too much difference in them, other than it will be obviously invocable. So nothing too much to worry about there. We've got a profile flag for tests. So if I just quickly run the tests, this is where it tells me I can't profile, isn't it? Hey, okay, wow, that view is just terrible. Okay, cool. Don't know what happened there. My screen flickered. Hey, buddy, how you doing? So, okay, so cool. Top 10 slowest tests, returning a successful response. You kind of assume that one's going to be slow. That's me not doing it, writing any of my own tests, of course. So, depreciations, testing, upgrading. Obviously, go see Laravel Shift because it is the most reliable way to get started. They've got some really, really cool stuff that you can actually use. Namespace consolidators, all sorts of pretty fantastic stuff, to be honest. So have a look. Let's look at the release notes. Okay, so types, PHP 8.1 we have covered. Types, love types. That's amazing. Laravel Pennant been released. Ooh, okay, so let's have a look. Can we install it? Composer require Laravel Pennant. Did I spell it right? Double N A N T. What's going on with my terminal tonight? Laravel Pennant. I'm spelling all right, just must not be ready yet. Is it available? Is it available? Not yet. No. Doc stuff. Yeah, I'm assuming that's not quite ready. Can I zoom in the browser window? Yes. No, it won't let me zoom anymore. View. Zoom in. View. There we go. That's better. Let's go have a look. Is Pennant even released as a repository yet? Or is it still a private thing? No, still not ready. That's fine. We can skip over Laravel Pennant, although having a look at that, that is pretty darn cool if I have to say so. This means that I can get rid of my own package, which would be great. Which did something somewhat similar, but this is so much better. Nice new feature flags package. So definitely check that one out. The process we've already covered, and it's amazing. You can pull them should you kind of need to for some reason. Test profiling we've covered. Pest scaffolding is just amazing. Generator prompts. Here's one. Okay, so let's try this. Make model light, and we are going to say we want a factory, we want migration, and a policy. Right. Policy. Wow. Oops, typoed. Welcome back to my streams, everybody. I typo more than I type. Okay, cool. So that's created all of those. So I can come have a look at the typo that I've created, which is cool. Nice and clean. Excellent. Our policy is in place. User flight, user flight pools. Fantastic. Our migration should now be in place too. _lights, because it's actually about lights, not flights. Excellent. I really like that. That's really nice. And that is a majority of what is mentioned about the upgrades. Support policy, release Q1. Laravel 9 is going to end of life next year. Laravel 8 is already end of life, so make sure you do upgrade. This release is going to run until the next 2 years, which is good. Perfect. And that's the main gist of it. So what can we do with it? What can we do? Let's close off some of these tabs. Right. So that's Laravel 10. What I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to close this one down. And let's create a new one called, we're just going to call it API. We're going to do dev, and we're going to do Pest. Ooh, Pest option doesn't exist. Composer, global, update, Laravel installer. There we go. Much better. I always forget to do those global dependencies. Ooh. Ah. Okay. Let's quickly remove that. Is that going to tag it on? No, it's not. So it won't let me add Pest right now because it's got a conflict, which I suppose you'd expect when you're working with an unreleased version, right? Okay, so let's just close that down. And let's open a new project. We'll open the API project because I'm Steve. I do APIs. Let's zoom this one out. I just clear all those notifications. Here's our API. So let's have a look. What can we do? What can we work with? Let's create a nice simple API quickly. There's Insomnia. Don't need to do much with that right now. Ooh, okay, so just going to install Laravel Sail. Start with, I'm just going to do My usual 1, 3, and 7. That's Postgres, Mailpit, and Redis. So we just want to be able to potentially send email, use cache, and have a database. And that's awesome. Let's make sure this is the latest version. Here we go. We're on 8.2. Composer needs to be 8.2. What we're going to quickly do is Composer block file is okay. Update that. My bad. Because I swapped to 8.2. My bad. Bump. Update all of those. Awesome. So Composer require Pest. Still 1.22. Okay, we might have to switch to a 2.star. Where's my star? No matches found. 2.x.dev. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. There we go. That's getting there. Let's quickly try the install. Okay, no publish your resources. So a Composer require Pest like a Laravel, and that will have to be 2.x.dev as well, I assume. Hello, optimized code. Cool name. Pest install. Already started it. Run the tests. Now we're on Pest. Profile. Fantastic. We're running Pest because Pest is fantastic. For those who have not seen the updates for Pest version 2, this is fantastic. Right, so I want to create, let's just clear this. Excellent. So what can we do? What can we do? We'll create a really simple API. We will go Composer. Actually, no. Yeah, we do. Composer require dev. That's double dash. Like that, is it? Oh, I can't remember now. Brain's just gone to crap, if I'm honest. Pardon me. Awesome. So now we can do breeze install API. Excellent. So let's serve about 10. Fantastic. So we have got web root, and this is what we're returning, an array. There's the auth, got some post requests, some get requests to verify emails, etc. API, no, Sanctum, no, I don't really need that. Web. So let's go to here and let's just get. Can I zoom in? Yes. You zoom in some more. Buttons. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it manually because I need to. There we go. I'll upgrade that later. So HTTP, localhost 8080. It's going to come playing to 127, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so we got Laravel 10. It's cool. Is that viewable enough for you all? Cool. So let's make a model quickly. Make model. We're going to call this a project on a migration factory and a policy. He must not have worked. Okay, so migrations, create a project table. We're going to come over to the users table and swap this to a ULID. Make that primary. Again, we're going to want a ULID as ID and set that primary table ring name table text description, and we have a table Boolean for whether it is an active project. Default that to true. We're also going to string status, and we will create a default for this. Create a quick enums in here, and we're going to call this status, and it is an enum. Going to return a string case draft keyboard. Open project case closed. Something really simple at this point, right? Hey, Samuel, how are you doing, buddy? So for this one, I'm just going to have a status. By default, it's going to be a draft. Simplify that one. That's all I'm going to keep on it, really. Let's get ID, name, description. It obviously going to then have to have the foreign ULID for the user who creates it. We want to index. We want to constrain to the user's table, and we want to cascade on delete. In our factory, project name, I'm just going to use like a company name. This take a company. For the description, we will just use a paragraph. This take a paragraph. For if it is active, we'll just use a Boolean. Order-wise, status is first. This, nope. I want an array, random from status cases. Then for the user ID, we want use the user factory itself. Somewhat simple. Model is project. Awesome. So we can create them. We can go through and just fill this in now. Why is that? Oh, pivot. I don't want it to be a pivot. I broke it. I did it wrong. Has factory and used has ULIDs. Fillable. We're just going to have the name, description, status, active. And I always like to add the relationship in there too. Just do. So that is all of that. Obviously, casts are super important and I love using them. So we're going to have a status cast, which is going to be to the status enum itself. And we've got whether it's active, which is just a Boolean. Public function owner, which is a belongs to relationship. Turn this belongs to related is user. Really not typing well today. Cool, then over on here, we can clean this up. And we can say that the projects, public function projects, add many, return related project. Foreign key is the user ID. Need to remember to add some stuff on here. Otherwise, it will bug me. Add the ULIDs, and we are good. Fantastic. So let's just create, let's get a here and I'm just going to migrate to our database quickly. Close all these. In our Cedar, we're just going to create, I don't know, project factory, 100 models. Sale DB feed seeding database. Awesome. So now if we come back to our root, let's, instead of returning an app version here, let's say a make a resource will be project resource. I also want to composer require Tim McDonald's package because it is fantastic. For now, we're just going to return our new JSON response where our data is going to be a project resource collection. Data is going to be project query. Yeah. Oh, my bad. This is resource. So now if we come back to this and we just say JSON API resource, we can say to attributes. Okay. This name, description, long key, and keyboard. I should really look what I'm typing. So, cannot translate hostname. Oh wait, I know why. Awesome. Localhost. Here we go. So we've got an API. It's working nicely. Projects. Here's this ID. Nice. Composer require. Classy, Laravel, query builder. Let's see if that's ready for us. Get rid of that, and we can say query builder, where the subject, no, it's 4, and the subject is the project. We want to allow includes of owner. What do we get? Awesome. So now on here we can say make a resource make a resource. We're just going to create the user resource quickly. Public array relationships. And we have got owner, and that is a user resource. It's an API resource. To attributes. I'm going to add the name. Oof. This name. And email. Keep it like that for now. We'll just add status on this as well. And we have got users. We've got statuses. Excellent. Ooh. Yeah, JSON API resource is fantastic. I did an article about it on Laravel News. So JSON API resources in Laravel. I read a tutorial on it. This is the old version of the package. Walks you through how it works and what the differences are. Pretty fun. Pretty good package. Definitely recommend it. So that is our API up and running. Running on Laravel 10. We could probably do a little bit more maybe. Let's have a bit of a play. So a make controller. I want to make a project index controller. I want this to be invocable. I also want to create a pest test. Excellent. So now I can take all of this. Projects. Index controller. And we're just going to say projects. That's going to fail for now. Cool. For now, we'll just do that. Import that. Import that. Import. Import. And we kind of want the Symfony response to be a more specific one. So we can do that. Yeah, I've already gone through the process facade, buddy. I've already gone through it. Is this now working? Yes. What I'll quickly do is to show you. So let's say process is process. We want to run PHP artisan, I don't know, about. And then dine dump on process output. Ooh, could not open input file. Oh, okay, that's kind of fun. That won't work. Okay, so how about ls minus la? Ah, we're on the index. How about now? We do have it. Fantastic. So our environment, we got all the about stuff. Kind of cool. I think that does what I expect it to. Yeah. Yeah, artisan, but not a great place to perhaps use it. But it is cool. The process facade is amazing. So what we could probably do there is make a command. We could call this, put it in git, init command, like that. Console commands git init. We're just going to call that git init. Initialize a git repo. We can say that our process is process. We can say command git init run. This output pipeline process output or something like that. So we could say a git init initialize empty git repository, and then if we do it again, reinitialize existing git repository. So what we could probably do is if For example, process failed. We can this components error. The string we want to pass through is the process error output, for example, then return init command failure. Oh, what happened? The void function must not return a value. I should be returning int. Return command success. And then, let's say we go into app maybe, and PHP artisan get init with this error. Apparently not. That execute from the root though? No, it doesn't. Oopsie daisies. So yeah, that is how we can run the processes. If the process was successful, then line. I think there's a way you can process exit code, see in output, see if you see something in the output, failed command error output successful. No, you can't. You can't wait. Would be nice if you could kind of get the buffer and write a new line, like you can with a Symfony component. But that's just me being picky. So what we're going to do is just going to copy that, put that there, move this out. Oops. What we'll do is just say nothing like that. Something went slightly wrong. So we can do that all day, right? So that's another thing. If we move app outside of okay, I'm not really sure you're on about there, Ali, to be honest. Yeah, I can see it's not public yet. It's a shame. That was cool. Right, okay, so let's have a look at something else. Let's say test failed. Ah, no. I expected that though. So let's have a look at some other stuff. Testing. Test. Controllers do not directly access. Eloquent. Expect. Ooh, nope. Oh, I think I need a plugin for this, don't I? Expect app HTTP controllers do not to contain app models. Ah, so much going wrong. Right, feature. Let's just delete all of those. Delete that. Let's just do that again. There we go. One failed. I think I need the plugin. Composer require. Pest plugin. Arch. Index controller test. Okay, maybe I should like read the docs on this. I can't remember off the top of my head. What else can we look at? What else can we look at? We can look at testing quickly. Let's have a quick look at this test down here. I've just wrote a tutorial for Laravel News on testing JSON APIs. So let's say we come down to our roots web, and we're just going to add like the middleware of auth to this, so that this should fail. And we want to say that it returns the correct status code if not authenticated. I'm going to get JSON. URI is going to be the index controller. Simplify that one. And we assert that the status code, I could probably just use a built-in one for this test. So we're going to use response class HTTP. So we should be unauthorized, so we get that, or might be forbidden. Let me go double check. Yeah, authenticated. Latest. Ooh, what happened? There we go. My bad. It returns the correct status code if not authenticated. Awesome. It returns the correct payload. So what we kind of want to test here is that when we do this, when we are acting as a user, factory create, and we test, one failed. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, okay. Artisan test it. It's slower, but hey ho. Undefined relation to users does not exist. Insert into users. Okay, where are you coming from? Okay, something funny is going on here. Relation to users does not exist. Belongs to related user related. Something funky donkey's going on. I can't quite figure out. Find table, relation users. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Lazily refresh. PHP unit. This is one I always forget. Local history. Show history for this file. Pop that back. And for our testing, we are just going to do that. There we go. There's nothing that I'd done. It was just I forgot to set stuff up. Typical Steve, rushing ahead. Getting overexcited because I get to write tests. Cool. So what I'm going to do is warp, go into API. You'll run my test on this screen. And we're going to put PHP Storm next to it so that I can do it nicely like that. So return to quick payload. We're not testing the payload yet, so let's go and assert some JSON. Settable JSON. This is giving us an index, so we want to just say something like what do we want to actually create some projects first? Create 10 projects quickly. Has 10? I think that's how I did it last time. Can't remember. My brain's gone to mush today. Let's just do that. Actually, we don't actually need to run it in there anymore. We can actually just still do a test. A test profile. That's the slowest one. Then we could probably test the first one and make sure it is the correct payload that we are getting. Probably don't need that now because we're tapping into another one. So we can say that it has attributes.name. It also has attributes.description and attributes.status. It is missing relationship user, etc. Looking good. So we've got the correct payload there. Now we can say something like, I don't know, it turns correct payload with the user relationship. And this is where we kind of do the same thing. Instead of that, we want to say that we actually have it. And within here, we can say include the user. Oh, we failed. 400. Why are we getting that? There we go. Nope. Relationships user does not exist. Okay, so because I am requesting it, let's just quickly down dump it. It's failing here. Why is it? Relationships. Next controller. Allowed includes user. Yeah. Using that. Yeah. Relationships. Included. Nest. Okay, it's not working for some reason, so not sure why. But not the point of what I'm doing, so hey ho. What I'll do instead is use the old syntax to relationships. And oh wait, no, that's probably why. There we go. And that'll be why. Don't rename your relationships ever. So that's tested, that's working. We know we can include that. Let's just do something like something funky. I like filters. Allowed filters. Let's quickly put this down the line. We want to be able to filter to whether they are active and by their status. I'm not going to be streaming for too much longer because I'm not actually eating anything yet. So bear with, and we'll get to this little bit, summarize, and come back. Returns the correct results when filtering to active projects only. So what we want to do is something kind of similar to this. What we're going to do, we're going to create 10 where active is false. Then we're going to create 5 active projects. And we want to filter active be true. This should only have 5. We can swap that to each. Shouldn't have that. And where active is true, and we need to add just active to here. Wow, my typing has just gone through the roof this evening. Right, so let's have another look. So active doesn't exist. We're looking good now. These are still two of the slower ones, but it looks like those kind of make up for it. So we know we can get active projects only. Now to combine and say it can go filtering to active projects and including users. You've got to test these combinations, right? Now we want to say that it has relationships user. We could probably do something like, I don't know, user.type users let's get that working first. Relationship to user. User data dot type. And we're good. That is some nice simple testing. But so far Laravel 10, pretty cool. We've covered looking at the processes and the types, all the types that are now included, which is great. The process is cool. It'll be nice to see if we can kind of get like something extra on this where you can tap into the buffer almost. This text now on PHP 8.1 by default, native type declarations, but it does not include typed properties. Please remember that because I didn't. Invocable validation rules, which are cool. The profile for your tests to see which one's potentially running a little bit slow. And if we have a look, you can see here that when I run a test, you can see that these two ones here are slow. Correct status code if not authenticated. I don't know whether that's because it's the first pass. Got to boot everything up in the background. I'm not too sure. Depreciations, testing, and there's a lot more on the release notes. I am going to drop the release notes in the chat. Make sure that you have a look at it. It is pretty cool. There's lots and lots of stuff going on. New packages aren't quite released yet. There's a few things not quite ready to be released, but we are getting there and it is looking good. So that is a quick look at what's coming ahead in Laravel 10. It is an exciting step forward. I mean, the types alone were a huge undertaking, and what that's going to provide us as Laravel developers is more of a kind of a mature approach to how we're developing by default. So that will be cool. My other favorite part perhaps is going to be the Laravel pennant when it's available. Feature flags are great, fantastic. I'd like to see if there's any support for API stuff. What I did on my package was I had a middleware, so maybe I can depreciate my package, push a PR up to Laravel pennant and see what happens. Obviously process is cool. I love the test profiling. Yeah, overall, there's some really good quality of life improvements. I'm really excited. I know everyone else is too. But thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, or if there are vector rules ready in the works. You know what? I don't actually know. There's package abandoned vector Laravel. When was this last updated? 2 days ago. Does it have anything to do with support? There is this package, driftingly vector Laravel. This may cover what you need. There was a release 2 days ago. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I honestly couldn't tell you right now, unfortunately. But it's worth checking on this repo. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to be notified of the next stream. The next stream will be next Thursday again, so make sure to watch out for that. If anyone would like to join me on a stream, that would be great. It would be cool if I could start getting more people on the Laravel News channel and over just me. I'm just one of the writers. I am not Laravel News. I just write for them. So if you're listening, you're watching, reach out to me on Twitter at JustSteveKing. And let's get it sorted. Let's get some people involved. Let's see what we can do on the stream. Fun. Let's show the wide variety of the Laravel community properly instead of just this bearded white guy with a beard. So thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great evening, and I shall see you next time. Good night.